Well, interesting turn of events. After the first series, the king immediately forfeit. And Siddolio won the raffle again, twice in a row. Well, actually, no, he didn't. Von Kluge won the raffle and nominated Siddolio. And said that he has to win or he'll never nominate him again. So pressure's on for Siddolio this time. Gets a chance to redeem himself. This time his opponent is going to be Cradled Cat. This is again a power struggle. Neither of these players is the king right now. So, Siddolio versus Cradled Cat. Here we go. Cradled Cat won the raffle first, so he is treated as the top seed arbitrarily. So he'll be Axis first in this series. And the map is Samoski Winter. Siddolio chose Soviets. Cradled Cat as Axis chose over Commando West. I've got Shock Rifle, Lend-Lease, and Soviet Reserve? No, Soviet Combined Arms versus Fortification, Spec Ops, and Scavenge. The initial engagement for the center village seems to be going in Cradled Cat's favor. Forcing a retreat right there. Sturm Piles moving up on the flank, also putting pressure on conscripts inside the church, but they move sort of awkwardly. Third squad of conscripts moves up from the left flank to put pressure on those Sturms, which take a model loss really quick right there that they shouldn't have taken. Jump into the church thereafter, put some pressure on these conscripts. At this range and level of health, I think the Sturms will win against those conscripts in that building fight. Volksgrenadiers take control of the strategic point right there. Conscripts leave the building to go take territory in the north since they're kind of wounded for this engagement. I expect Siddolio to go Molotovs next. No, 5th conscript squad first. I think we may see tech here in the village after the 3rd Volksgrenadier against a 5 conscript opening with potentially Molotovs. This tech structure, whenever he chooses to build it, may be a little bit vulnerable. We'll see what he chooses to do. Conscripts move up to fire on Volksgrenadiers and Sturm Piles, which left the safety of the church and are charging across open ground with no health. What is he doing? Alright, well that's not good. Those Sturms are going to be forced to retreat very soon. More conscripts moving up from the left as well. That's going to be a wipe. What is he thinking? Sturms wiped. That is probably a misclick. Volksgrenadiers retreated instead of Sturms. Oh no, Cradled Cat is off to a horrible start. Losing his Sturm Piles. That's probably going to delay his tech as SWS will be forced from the central village. Volksgrenadiers might get sniped. No snipe. Getting away narrowly. Volksgrenadiers taking control of this fuel here, slow down Siddolio's fuel income. Neither player really has very much map control right now. Most territory still uncontested after an extremely brutal fight for the central village that clearly went in Siddolio's favor. Siddolio's going to spread out, get some territory taken. His combat engineers can't win an engagement against those Volksgrenadiers in the north. These conscripts are going to start taking control of this cutoff right outside of his opponent's spawn. Having to replace his Sturm Piles is a huge tech setback. Still no tech yet, and it's almost 5 minutes in. Conscripts moving to take control of the fuel point and other various territory here in the south as well. So, not good for Cradled Cat. Very rough opening. And on this map, you don't want to have a rough opening. There's not a whole lot of room for that on either Samoski map. On Samoski Winter, you have a little more room because you can't get base locked nearly as easily, but it's still pretty bad. Combat engineers are chasing Volksgrenadiers because they have a flamethrower upgrade. Oh no. Oh my god, the crits right there. That was ridiculous. That's the engagement lost. Get out of there, Cradled Cat. There he goes. Jeez. Volksgrenadiers have to retreat from that engagement. No Molotov research, by the way, from Siddolio yet. I'll retreat those 2 heavily wounded squads after that Sturm Pile burst. And these 2 are going to backpedal to a different green cover position. Siddolio is about to have control of both fuel points, though. He's actually connected to this fuel point by his enemy's cutoff. Now he's disconnected again. He's going to have to get these 2 strategic points captured eventually, unless he wants to actually hold this point to connect him to that fuel, which up until now seems to have been working. Still no tech, by the way. 6.5 minutes into the game, no tech. I don't even know what that SWS is doing sitting right there. That's not going to be very helpful. Sternpios have to retreat away from the conscripts here. Almost get wiped again. No tech, and he's gone with 5 Volksgrenadiers against 5 conscripts and flamethrowers from Siddolio. It's clearly not working very well. There's Fortifications Doctrine chosen, and an MG34 is making its way to the front line. This SWS is moving up. If he actually tries to set that thing up with Siddolio sitting right here, it's probably going to go very poorly. Flamethrower's going to have to retreat, I think. Siddolio can't get in range for a merge, so there he goes. Engagement for the right side. Apparently those Volksgrenadiers are walking past conscripts without even paying attention to them. Going to take a little bit of bleed right there and damage. Conscripts are going to move to chase. They're just walking right by. Kind of weird. MG34 moves to counter that squad. That's got to retreat. These conscripts will be able to win an engagement against the Volksgrenadiers. Late retreat. Late retreat. They may get away, though. If there's no lucky snipe. And there's the lucky snipe. Siddolio is about to get back control of this sector and reconnect himself to the south fuel. The Volksgrenadiers actually came back to counter these conscripts now, I guess. Siddolio is going to move to the other side of his green cover. Probably win that at that range. SWS half track might go down. No, it's gonna go down. And with that, no tech structure at 9 minutes. And now he has to wait for the cooldown. Meanwhile, Siddolio already going tier 3 for probably a T-70 that will probably end the game. At least that's what I assume is going to happen.
Fresh meat has arrived. Structure complete. Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector. Mine detectors have arrived to help us avoid unpleasant surprises. Supply sector under attack. Replacements have arrived. Engineers have secured the sector.
Combat engineers jumping into the church. Volksgrenadiers just hold up in green covers, slowly trying to get a little more territory back while Siddolio is getting ready for his next big push, which could be quite decisive. Probably. Other than Sternpio's getting wiped in the very beginning, there have been no wipes this game, just bleed and map control situations, so... And I guess this thing. So army size right now is pretty equal, just Siddolio has teched a lot and his opponent isn't even able to tech right now. Siddolio is going half-track. Korean army style. Conscripts move up into green cover here in the cemetery. Pretty well executed flank on that completely unsupported machine gun is definitely going to force a retreat or a wipe. Man, there's the wipe. So he'll probably be able to recover that easily. Flamethrower moves up to put pressure on Volksgrenadiers, which just jumped inside this house. More conscripts moving up from this route to put pressure on those Volksgrenadiers, and it looks like Cradled Cat's rather weak position in the center is going to fall. Stern Pioneers moving up to at least force this retreat, though. A little bit of a late retreat from Siddolio, but they'll get away. There's the half track. Upgrading with a quantum mount now. Moving to put pressure on Sturms and Volksgrenadiers. No anti-tank, by the way, of any kind from Cradled Cat, who isn't even able to make Panzerschrecks. He would have no choice but to rely on Rakettenwerfers, but whatever. Not even going to try. GG. 11 minute 36 second victory from Siddolio with 496 victory points in the bank. That's going to be pretty tough for Cradled Cat to top in Game 2 if he even survives Game 2 for faction selection. GG, short break, Game 2.